How is it going, people? Now, if I had told you that I'd filmed this probably 3 times and my GoPro kept losing, either not even doing audio or it cut off the audio halfway through and just decided it didn't want to do it after that. So sometimes I'll be talking to the camera for 10 minutes and you can't even hear anything. Which you can't tell you how frustrating that was, because this morning I went out on the bike, went down to the countryside, sat there, did some nice, like, well, did all of this in the countryside, right? But now we're in the van, and this is how it's gonna go, because I'm not doing it again. I can't be fucking arsed. But anyway, welcome. If you're new here, I am Joe, also known as Joey, also known as road biking. I've lived and travelled in my van for the past, nearly 4 years now in this van. Recently I've took on a job as an MOT tester at a friend's garage. Yeah, little insight for you. So if you haven't seen all my travelling videos, go look back, right? Now, I will start off by saying I apologise for the lack of content. Now, I know things are just too much at the minute, and I'm just trying to piece it together, and I am filming. It's just getting the editing done that's the bit I'm like so I've kind of put a hold on Patreon, because obviously if you're not getting anything from me, what's the point, you know? Yeah, I am putting these videos up, but they're only like once a month, and I put a little picture up every now and again on Patreon, and then yeah, you know what I mean? I don't think it's fair, so I'm probably going to cancel that. So yeah, as much as I appreciate the support, so yeah, I apologise for that as well. Yeah, what was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying in the whole of the last one I did, which is irritating that I've already done this and now I'm having to try and do it again, which makes it even more awkward. Yeah, so let me think. Yeah, I said to you all I was going to buy a motorcycle, and I went and bought a motorcycle. I didn't just buy one motorcycle, I bought 2, right? And here's the story. Right, so the first one I found was for £300. And I was like, for 300 quid, you can't go wrong, can you? Right? It had compression, it sounded alright. I mean, by sounding alright, the engine sounded alright, and it was all pretty much there, you know? So I found a Lexmoto Valiant on Marketplace. Now, yes, it's Chinese, but I just needed something to run back and forward to work, and I thought it's not a bad size. You should be able to move it around in the van, and it should kind of work. Do you know what I mean? Let's see how it works. So yeah, speaking to the person on Facebook Marketplace, I think he wanted $495 for it originally, and I was like, I ain't paying that, mate. But let's face it. So I turned up, had a little haggle with him, and I managed to get it for 300 quid. Now, obviously, there's only so much you can do when you go to view a vehicle before you buy it. He did sell it as spares and repairs. He had it part X'd in because he had like a little business going on. He said it's not his kind of thing, and you never know what you're being told, do you? Anyway, I ended up getting it back to the van, stripping it apart because the back brakes were stuck, front brake was stuck. Obviously, it didn't run, and then there was no spark as well. So, after figuring out why it didn't have a spark, after figuring out why the rear brakes were seizing on, sorting the brakes out, realigning the back wheel, and then yeah, then I come to take the tank off and realise someone snapped the little filler neck off the fuel pump housing. So there was no way of me actually getting fuel from the fuel pump to the injector, and then yeah, it wasn't going to work. Obviously being pressured, because it was a fuel injected, you can't just put a pipe on the end and then from that, I mean you could, but there was nothing left for me to connect to, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I ended up binning that, well, not binning that one off. I took it to my old man's shop because he used to sell them brand new a couple of years back, right? So I was like, okay, well, see what you can get. Can't find a fuel pump for it for love nor money. Couldn't find one on, even the main dealer was like, we ain't sure when we're going to have some, right? So I was like, well, I can't be arsed with this, right? So I ended up giving that to my old man and saying, sell that for me and get my money back, which he has done. He sold it, I got my money back, happy days. It's one of them, right? You live and you learn. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, right? And sometimes you equal out, and I equaled out, so win-win, right? But anyway, yeah, after that, I was like, oh, I'm going to polish my van, right? And as I said in the previous video, I was going to do that. So I spent a whole day, 2 days actually, polishing my van all the way around. I even ceramic coated it, mate, she looks ping. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and then while I was there, I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna wax oil underneath as well. So yes, I know you used Lanogard before, but Lanogard is quite expensive, and I feel like you get a more of a slap-on coat. Like if you put wax oil on, like you can get it on a brush and just, you know, you can paste it on. I don't mean brush it on, I mean paste it, like your plasterboarding. No, like your plastering, just sliding that stuff on. And she looks pucker underneath now, as you can see. Yeah, so from that point onwards, my old man was like, okay, he sent me a link to a monkey bike, and I thought, okay, that sounds like a good idea, little monkey bike. But it's a little bit too small for me for what I need it for. You know, yes, it'd be practical as anything, and it is quirky and it's got character. Bloke ended up wouldn't budge on the price, and it was only a 70cc, and I was like, I kind of need something a bit bigger than that. And he sent me a link to another one, which was in Ipswich, right? But this is a Honda Dax copy. Now, if you know anything about motorcycles, the Honda Dax is a iconic little bike. You know, it's awesome. Handlebars fold flat, and yeah, I was like, do you know what? We saw that on the old eBay. Spoke to the guy, you know, 2 previous owners, and it was just mint, you know, 21 plate. So the newest thing I've ever owned in my life, 21 plate. Don't get me wrong, these things were like two brand new, I think. And yeah, we struck a deal on £1,000. Well, 995, I think it was. We ended up getting it down to. So I sent them a deposit, and then we headed over to Ipswich. Nothing to see here, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Get your eyes up here, eyes up here, eyes up here. I've got a new motorcycle. What you want my ass for in your electric fucking VW, you poor bag? Anyway, sorry. I've got a new motorcycle. I've got a new motorcycle. Come and ride it with me. I'm gonna head back to the Midlands now. I've got about a 2-hour drive. Why is it? I don't understand. Why is it 3 hours to Ipswich and 2 hours back? Someone explain that to me, or was it just me, or is it just the time of day now that I lost an hour? Go on, son! Go on, son! You can do it! You can do it! Yeet! Hello! It's been a mad day. Day of work and a day of, well, then it's about like 6 hours of driving. And the sun is shining again. Oh, look at it! Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Who needs sunglasses when you got your squintables, eh? I was getting to cruise mode. Now, first stop on this little beast is to my old man's motorbike shop in Coventry.
Now, I don't know the history of this bike, so let's give it an oil change. Now, it's weird, don't get me wrong, not getting my hands dirty, but big shout out to my dad's mechanic Ben for hooking me up with a waterproof HD lead cap, new spark plug, drop the oil, top the oil up with some fresh fluids, and now the bike's had a full health check and is good to go. Now, let's head to one of my little favourite spots that's not too far away. And I heard the sun's about to come out.
That was a bargain share, that one. Now, this, right here people, is Burton Dassett Hill. Now if you're on the Midlands, this is about as much countryside as you get. But, got a bit, is it going to be busy? That is the question. Hopefully not. Nobody here yet. Nobody here yet. Now I remember coming here during lockdown, right? And it was easy. So I'm talking tons of people, every bit of glass on a car on it. Beep beep, beep beep, beep beep, beep beep, beep beep, beep beep, beep beep. La 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 la. Obviously I'm not going to today the party, but let's do a little talky review about this. Talk about the little Bullet 125. Look at it. She's a beast, mate. Now don't get it wrong, she's quite small for my purposes, for my size stature. But it does still work perfectly fine for what I need it to do. Now, hang on, visor open. Now it is obviously modern regulations of Euro 4, and that's why it's fuel injected with a little pump, and that's the filter, little electrical pump, little injector there. You know, it's modern day. I mean, I would have preferred to have one without all this modern day electrical bullshit. Obviously I will be getting a bigger bike at some point. It's just finding somewhere to store it. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, this thing is a 125cc. It does, on the book it said it does 120 miles per gallon. What the hell? And don't get me wrong, I've got it probably 4 days ago. Used it running back and forth doing what I needed to do. I went over to Coventry, did a whole like 40-mile ride over to there, and on the way back the fuel light flickered. So I went to fill it up. I guess how much it cost me to fill it up. I'll just put it on the screen here. That's mad, isn't it? From the fuel light on to filling it right up, that's what we got. What a beast. 120 miles per gallon at the moment. Now don't get me wrong, she's flat out at 50-55 at the minute. Obviously I have got some more bits coming for it already. I have got air filter and a bigger front sprocket to go on it. Now that should make the top end up to about I'd like to say 59, 60 flat out. Obviously I want it to sit nice and comfortably at 50, not be actually ragging it. So that's my goal. I don't want to try and make it the fastest thing in the world. I just want to make it comfortable at about 50 miles an hour and not have to rev the hell out of it. So I'm going to start with an air filter and a front sprocket, and then I might end up going for a rear sprocket. Needs a new chain at some point soon, because the adjuster is pretty much on maximum at the rear. Because obviously this bike isn't brand new, as much as it looks like it. The tyres are brilliant, and do you know what I mean? It's put a smile on my face using it, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, well, I'm going to join my bit of a countryside, and I'll catch you lot when I'm riding back, or when we get back to the van.
Now, just so you're aware, I do have a full motorbike licence, and I have had one for over 10 years, and I've ridden all sorts of motorbikes. But I thought on the way back, let's pop in to one of these local little bike cafes that I used to go to and see what the boys think about this little bad boy.
I mean, you got to put a smile on your face as you ride it, you know what I mean?
Cannot be in a bad mood riding that, you just can't.
So we're showing off the bike and grabbing a quick coffee and a little bite to eat. Let's get back on the road and get back to the van.
So, with picking the bike up, it was, you know, obviously, I can't leave things alone. I've got to tinker with stuff. You know what I mean? So the first protocol was put a bigger sprocket on the front, which I ended up ordering from Triton Motorcycles, which is the supplier of all the aftermarket kind of performance parts for that. And I got an air filter for it. Now, I'm still deciding on the air filter at the minute, just because I don't want it to run lean and then it'll just kill the plug off, and then it'll just play in game of either killing the engine or because obviously if you put more air in, you need more fuel. You know, this kind of goes hand in hand. But I'm just checking the plug every now and again to see if it's going a bit white. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's all right. Yeah, it was 55 mile an hour flat out. I ended up getting it up to 60 flat out. 60 and a little bit, you know, and don't get me wrong, on something that small it's hilarious, right? Now don't get me wrong, it's got so much character, that bike, and it's such a laugh to ride, and people just stop and just be like, oh, nice bike, you know. And the old school boys, they love it because it reminds them of the Honda Dax that they had when they were young. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, awesome little bike. Yeah, so I ended up going to a family get together, which I do every year, as you're probably aware if you follow me for any period of time. Once a year we do a little get together, and there's a lot of us, so we end up like just renting a field and then everyone just gets in the field. But obviously things were never going to go as planned for me and the big girl and a field when it's damp.
Now, it was the end of May when we had this meet-up, and I had seen vehicles going across here, even the tractor's been on here, all sorts, you know, and 95% of this field is perfectly fine for a van of my weight to drive on. Now, I originally parked on this left-hand side here first, because it was, you know, it looked kind of straight, but then I was like, nah, I'm not level. So I eyeballed a bit of a leveler spot a bit further along the other side of the field. I thought, let's head for that. Now, I know when to stop when you're trying to get something out of a muddy field, and this was time to stop. But luckily, the landlady had a tractor to hand because this was a small farm. So, yeah, tractor to the rescue. So with the tractor pulling me out, I think I'll go back to where I parked the first time, but a bit further forward where it looks a bit more level. That'll do, that'll do.
So with an awesome weekend had with the family, you know, it's nice to get everyone together. You know, we don't do it so often, but you know, when we do, it's always nice. You know, and my old man ended up taking us all to the pub and having a couple of pints, and I had a carvery, and oh, was it a carvery? That was a plate and a half. That was, yeah. So for, I think it was 24 people, I think it was. So yeah, nice one, Dad. Appreciate it. But yes, with this new little bike, obviously traveling back and forward to work, it's spot on for me, and it's been awesome. There is some other things that I'm going to be doing soon to the van, which, wow. I will explain more in other videos because I've already kind of done it, you know, already kind of done it. Yeah, so I won't kind of waffle on. Obviously I will put videos up as and when I can put them up. I do plan on making it more regular. I do plan on going back to one video a week at least. Obviously I'm just getting those little bits together and I'm tying everything together in it. Yeah, so obviously I am getting itchy feet. Itchy feet to want to travel. That's just because I like to travel, you know, and once this is kind of smoothed out a bit with the business and with the new job, and you know, and sorting out this, and yeah, and then I can get away at the weekends a bit more and plan stuff a bit better. Do you know what I mean? So stay tuned for that one, and there will be some more work coming on the van because I've got next month I'm buying some big bits for the van. Do you know what I mean? Some big bits for the van, so that'll be to come as well. Some upgrades. Do you know what I mean? Some upgrades, which is getting a lot of love. Obviously now with me having a proper income as such, you know, I know what's coming in and I know what's going out, and you know, so everything can get spoiled, even me. Do you know what I mean? But obviously the whole point in this is to save money, and I am saving money. So yeah, I won't waffle on, and I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. But obviously don't forget to keep it real, keep it safe, keep it true. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. You know, it helps massively, and I'll catch you lot in the next one. Ta-da!